What to roll.
Welcome to the Tush Twins, heard on malcolmpresents.com, your portal to a whole new world of Zoom casting, whatever the hell that means.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds good.
That sounds impressive.
It sounds like Star Trek, a portal. You're gonna
Well,
be.
that's what I want.
Oh, that could be part of your thing. Beam us in. A portal to, everything.
To life.
Please beam in. Beam in.
Well,
Right.
I looked on the portal, and portal is an entrance.
Right.
That's right.
So beam into the portal.
Right.
Beam in.
To an exciting new world of what I haven't
Well,
tried yet.
Something you invented, Malcolm.
But I don't know whether
it's all a figment.
a pigment.
Imagination.
But I don't know whether I have a portal or it's a black hole.
We won't go there. I'm going to be quiet on that one, please. But
Okay.
anyway. So here are the Tush Twins. We are the Tush Twins. And so we always say, who do we say to move over, twin?
Beethoven.
Hey, I like that. Move over Beethoven, Laverne and Shirley, Lucy and Ethel.
Right.
Oh, Lucy,
what did you do?
Thelma and Louise, which is kind of, I'm not too sure about that. I don't think myself running over a cliff.
No, I'm not. Betty and Wilma, though.
Wilma.
Wilma was the redhead.
Amy and Tina.
Because you're both cartoon characters, I know.
Right. And
definitely cartoon characters.
Yeah, I think we are. So, but we have this
Well,
friendship.
and now it has to be Jane and Lily.
Jane and
yes, Jane and Lily. I like that. Jane Lily. I love that show. Yes, that's a good one.
Those are like they're the upper one. They're like the queens. We have to bow down to them. But here we are with tales of friendship from Brooklyn and beyond. Maxine Faith, and Paula Rose, aka Rusty, the redhead. We'll bring you through our 60 plus years of friendship. And we had a lot of fun. Plus more. Plus the levity, the drama, the joy, the unabashed plutonic love.
But I want to know, have you shown your therapist to the show?
No, not yet. I don't have one. So if I did, I definitely would. I guess you're our therapist. Malcolm.
Poor Malcolm.
It's the Tush Twins plus our therapist, Malcolm.
That's a good one.
I like that. I think we're gonna do good.
We're gonna call you Dr. Berman.
Dr. Malcolm instead of Dr.
Malcolm.
It will be Dr. M.
Dr. M.
Dr. M.
Instead of Dr. Ruth, we have Dr. M here.
I wanted to do a show like Dr. Ruth, but using the right terms versus the way she does it. It makes sex look so clinical.
Oh, you mean you want to use the terms people use, like I banged her? Is that what you want? Of course you would, because you're a guy. What else? You're a guy.
But anyway, that's not our topic. We'll have that topic one day.
So anyway, again,
gentrifying sex. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. We're going. We're gonna hit something else. I mean, because we need to discuss how we used to drive from Brighton to Coney Island, and from New York City to the burbs, and the whole wide world. People drive everywhere. In the name of this, I was trying to figure out. First, I said, "Baby, we can drive. You can drive my car." But then I figured the title of this episode should be "Driving Me Mad," with emphasis on mad, because man, drivers today, holy crap!
And what did I call this episode?
What did you call it? You're telling me. Tell me. Driving me
effing mad.
Right.
And I'm calling it WTF.
Right, WTF. Because I looked for a second to see what statistics there are about road rage, which has become more commonplace and more dangerous because people have like during COVID, they're like flipping the hell out. They said 82% of drivers in the US admit to having road rage or driving aggressively at least once in the past year. Once? Seriously? You know, I used to, if someone cut me off, I'd say, you know, F you, and I would give them the finger. But do you know that you can get in trouble for that if a cop sees you giving the finger, because it's considered aggressive driving behavior, and you can and part of aggressive driving behavior is obscene gestures.
Really?
I'd be arrested for life.
Right. Wait a minute, ramming another driver's car or forcing them off the road.
That's happened a lot lately.
Yeah,
it's happening too much, and it's crazy. I live in an area. Well, first of all, Maxine, you've been driving since you're 17 years old, 16, 17. Malcolm,
so
when did you get your license?
Well, I lived in New York. I got it when I was 18.
Okay.
My
I
boys
got
got
my
it.
I
My
was
boys got
17.
it in California. They got it when I was 15 and a half. They got a permit to drive with an adult.
Yeah, 15 and a half is out in LA. Yes.
I got my license at 31 years old.
Well, you were a New York lady, New York girl.
I was a New Yorker. I never had to drive. I rode my bicycle everywhere. My ex-husband drove, my husband drove. I never had to do it.
Right.
And I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I drove at 17, and I remember the first time I used the car, which was my dad's. Remember the big Plymouth Fury, the brown one?
Brown one. Yep.
Right. Love that car. It's one
it.
of the smoothest cars to drive. And I drove it from my house, which it was on Ocean Parkway, to Brooklyn College. And and the first time you drive a car,
you're like,
your knuckles are just white.
Yes.
You're just praying.
When you're alone.
There's no one's around you. I had to drive up Ocean Parkway to Avenue M, wherever it was. I went like the back way, try to make it the way that it was like the straightest possible way I could go. And
I do that now.
You do that now. I know, because now we're like, because we're so crazed about what's going on out there. Just nutty people.
I got my license.
Yes,
I get nuts. Well, I got my license because I was moving out to California, which was a mistake.
Really?
Yeah.
How you doing out there? I went to Diners. I went to Diners. I know Sepulveda.
That's the only. But thank God that I got on the first time I got on the 101. By myself. I just had my license for 3 weeks. I'm out there and I'm driving, and people knew I was a New Yorker because all of a sudden going, these people in California drive weird. And I'm going, out of my way, F, MF, blah, 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 blah. And I'm get off the road and I'm like, oh my God, I have road rage and I just got my license.
Already. It doesn't take long in LA to have road rage.
And wait a minute, and I'm just learning to. I just got my. I drove when I first got my license. Just when I took the test for my license, Dennis gave me lessons, and I took all the lessons and everything.
Gave you lessons.
What Les gave me, but Dennis gave me Les is the one who taught me to drive.
Right.
But Dennis taught me for the driving.
Yeah.
No, and you're
no, the Honda.
No. Nope, it was your Toyota. The Toyota. Yes, you had the Toyota, whatchamacall, what's that famous Toyota? Camry. You were using Camry. Because I couldn't drive any other car because I get into a car, it's not a Camry. So Dennis helped me get my, because we were just not even dating, we were just friends at the time. So he's helping me drive the car, teaching me how to go for the license. The night before, it was pouring, and there was giant puddles everywhere. And I'm ready. He says there's a stop sign, so the car went 360 degrees around.
Oh, snap!
That used to happen to me in New York, but not the rain, but in the snow.
Well, I got the teachers, the guys test driving me. He goes, you failed. And I go, I think so. He
Right,
says, I'll
right.
see you in 2 weeks.
Oh,
And I passed. And 2
Right.
weeks later,
That was a
there
test.
no rain.
Oh, okay,
Good.
now a question I have for both of you before I forget it. Do either of you know how to drive the stick shift?
No,
I can't drive
No.
a stick shift well, but my friend Peter, who always has a stick shift, he taught me how to drive his Fiat. This little, I mean, it it was like, the little tiny smart cars. It wasn't much bigger than that. And
was it like my Mini Fiore
he
that
took
I used to
me,
have?
he t- I don't know. It was pretty small. The Fiats are very small.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I
was
had that, the square one.
right. So he, I mean, I could drive pretty decently. It's probably my 20s. So I was driving a few years, and so he took me around the neighborhood and in Brooklyn, and he taught me how to drive, and I was able to actually go 3 feet, so that was good. So I
Without
drove.
stalling?
I did. I was able to shift, and because you have the clutch and the you have to drive with 2 feet
2 feet.
and your hand on the your right hand is
And the
on
hand,
the
well, with me,
right.
my hand on my girlfriend.
Right. Well, this time my girlfriend, was the the little stick there. What can you do with a stick? And I can tell you a
Excuse
story
me?
about that. I can
No,
tell you a
no,
story about that, but I won't. It
this
happened in
is
the
a-
Playboy Club.
this
Boy,
is-
did I hear about a stick. Oh my God. No, serious. Remember, I was in the bathroom. Oh my, that's a
Okay.
whole other, that's a whole other.
That's
But
another
anyway,
story.
the answer is yes. I wouldn't probably remember as much, the gas, the clutch thing, but I did. I can say I actually drove a few miles, a
With a stick,
stick a
okay.
few miles, but that was it.
Yeah, well,
Do you drive a
I-
stick?
excuse me?
You, Malcolm, do you drive a stick?
Yeah,
Oh,
Okay.
I learned how to drive on if you're talking about small cars, a Renault Dauphine.
Oh boy.
Just
oh
like British
no,
car.
I
A
remember
Renault.
those cars.
Oh my God. Was that a car?
Yeah, and then when I would drive, well, I was living in New York at the time. When you go on the like Bell Parkway, any of the highways,
Mhm.
trucks do not see you because you're too damn low.
Right. You're very
Yep.
small to the ground.
Right, so I would
Right.
constantly be cut off by semis.
Mm,
Talk about road rage.
right.
Ooh,
Wow.
But I was a little guy because if they were behind me, they toot their horn. It was sort of like it was like an earthquake.
Yeah. And if you hear it, the same thing. And you just in a smaller car, that's why it's good to have a vehicle that's a little larger, I think.
Yeah,
Just cause
it-
from a safety perspective.
it's good to be young and don't think of things like that.
Right.
well,
Well,
Maxine, Malcolm, what is your biggest road rage that you guys have had? And I'll tell you one of mine, a few of mine, every day is mine. Go ahead.
biggest road rage that
Yeah,
I
what was the biggest moment you really remember?
what I remember is somebody following me in Chapel in my neighborhood in northern Westchester, and it was nighttime, and I was coming back from a meeting, and the it was a little slick, it was a little like misty, and
Mhm.
a country road in the mist,
You
when
gotta be careful.
in a 35-mile zone, so I was doing like 35, 37, whatever, and this guy was behind me on my tail. My tail
Ugh.
kept going for at least a mile and a half on my tail. There's no one else around. There's no one there. He could have gone around me, actually, because there was literally no one there. So finally, he's literally almost on my bumper. And I was almost ready to make a U-turn and go back to the police station in town, because I
Mhm.
was like a mile and a half from there. And so what happened was he was right behind me, and then I found this place I could pull over to let him pass. Well, the guy passed me, and then I went behind him, and I had my brights, and I had my horn, and I was tailing him for a little bit. And then I just pretty much slowed down to let him
And
just,
let him go.
go away. But I mean, I don't know who this guy was, and I was like screaming, F you, it was like everything you can imagine. And now in my mind, I figured I was like out of my mind. But what I would do today, if someone did that, is I'd pull over, let them pass. Or if they were following me, I'd turn and see if they still followed me, and I'd go right to the police
To the
station.
police station.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they tell you to do.
Yep. So what
Yeah.
happened with you?
Malcolm, let's hear Malcolm's story.
Oh boy, yours is going to be something.
No, I don't get
I'm the
road,
monitor.
I don't get road rage, or I
Oh, you
haven't,
don't?
or I don't remember. I mean, I think part of it is when I was in college, during holiday weekends, I would drive a taxi cab, a yellow cab in Manhattan.
Oh boy. Oh, he is right.
And I would get 6 o'clock in the morning. I take the cab. I lived in Brooklyn at the time, and I drive into Manhattan. And I remember it was like quiet in Manhattan when I got there, about 7 o'clock or so. And then all of a sudden, the streets would fill up because you would see like people coming out of the underground, like ants coming out of their, their little holes.
Right.
I mean, literally, it was like there was no people there when I got there, and all of a sudden, you see millions of people show up. And I knew that, I think I told Max the other day, I knew that I'd be in that cab from 9-10 hours a day. I was in no hurry to get any place.
Of course not.
And I would drive with 2 feet. I would drive with 2 feet.
Really?
Yeah, because my right foot was on the gas and my left foot was on the brake. So this way, when I was bumper to bumper traffic and there was room in the left lane or the right lane, I could just put my foot on the gas if my foot was on the brake and switch it like that. So I learned how to almost like drive the stick shift by driving a regular car.
Right.
And
that's cool.
And I would always, hey, they made a mistake, or they're schmucks.
Right.
It's okay. I'm driving here. This is my job. Screw them. That's it.
Right.
I didn't get angry. What am I getting angry for?
Right. Well,
anyway,
that was so what I explained was the worst time I've ever, and after that I really haven't done it, but
I've had some.
Now I'm a little nervous at all because of, you don't know who has a gun in their car.
Someone could take out a gun, yeah.
Now I'm like, all right. So with that, what was your story? I can't even imagine. I'm on the phone with you and you are cursing like a sailor. Every time you're on the freaking road, you're like,
because I bow down to my queen, Abby.
Abby is the queen. My sister-in-law is the queen.
She's the queen.
Every word out of her mouth is she's the queen.
She's the queen.
A truck was
I
blocking,
learned from the best.
A truck was blocking the entrance to
I remember
the
that.
apartment in Brooklyn, and she's 7 months pregnant with the twins. And she's beeping and beeping, can't get around. I'm in the car. I'm like 14 or something. Can't get around. This 5'2" with the twins out like this. She goes on the door to the truck. And this big burly guy is in the truck. And she goes, "Move the effing truck. I'm going to have the goddamn baby in your car, in your truck," or something. I mean, and the guy goes, "Yeah, I'll move it. I'll move it." It was so funny. And the guy moved the car. He's just, "I'm going to have the baby in your truck. I'm going to go into your truck and have the baby." So it was funny.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway, so what's your story? Because now I'm even afraid, but go ahead.
No, mine's funny, and I have some other ones, but the main thing is I do have road rage, but I'm screaming in the car, but they don't know I'm screaming at them because people have no consideration driving. But I was driving, this poor man, I really feel sorry for this guy. This Afro-American gentleman, and I say gentleman, I was going down 29th Street towards 8th Avenue, and the light was turning, it was yellow, and I was going to speed across to get through it, but this guy was crossing the street, and I stopped short, and he yells out in loud, very loud voice, "You bitch!" I turned the window down, and I looked at him very calmly and go, "Excuse me, how'd you know my name?" He started laughing and I apologized for almost killing him. I didn't mean to do that. And he said, don't worry about it. And he says, thank you for making me laugh. I said, thank you for not letting me kill you.
Yeah. Oh, that came out well. Oh my God. Yeah, I remember
Yes,
that story.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
that
I remember
was,
that.
that was,
Yeah.
I was living on 29th Street at the
Right, so
time.
that
I
was-
was going,
that
of
was-
course, yeah.
That was a
And I
while
was by
back.
myself. That was a while back.
Well,
That was just basic.
when I was driving the cab, the joke was, somebody asked, how do you, in midday, how do you get from the east side to the west side?
Walk.
And the answer is you can't. You have to be born there.
Ha, 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 ha.
I say
Well,
walk.
But I've done, like, again, in my cab, I've done crazy things, like, in the garment industry, in the garment center, in the garment district. I mean, these trucks are double parked, triple parked. You cannot get
Mm.
through. So there were times I looked around and I would hop the curb
right, sure.
and
you
go
got-
on
that's-
the side-
they all
and go
do
on the
that.
They all
sidewalk.
hop. Hey, Matt,
They all hop
how'd you
it.
go to the bathroom driving a cab? Was there a pits? Would you have a pit stop place that you always went to?
I opened the door. No.
Yeah. You had a bottle.
A
No,
Snapple bottle, right?
there are places to eat
Mhm.
Okay.
that generally have areas right in front of them that's for parking for cabs.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So yeah,
I
right,
forget the name
right.
of the place, but there's a good place that had the roast beef, and you got the roast beef sandwich, and they were cheap.
Uh-huh.
And
Cars?
there's
Oh,
also a
the
place
cab.
called I think on Park Avenue, like about
Oh,
17th Street, a place called Belmore, and that's where
Belmore.
all the cab drivers went.
Oh, okay.
all right.
So
didn't-
that's
Do
where
we know Belmore? We don't know.
No, I never heard of that.
I don't know.
or Belmont. I don't know. I forget. It might be. But those are the days that my prostate and my bladder were much stronger.
Right, right. No, because I always would, that was always the question I would ask my dad. How do cab drivers go to the bathroom if you're in the car all the time?
My father would say a bottle.
Right, that's what my dad said, a bottle.
A
He said,
bottle.
he goes, they pee in a bottle. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. He's like, what else was I gonna say? But now, there's traffic laws, right? Aren't
Yes.
there? There's
No.
stop signs,
No,
there's traffic lights.
no,
No one stops anymore.
no.
No one, they go through lights. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And you have to be the most defensive driver you can be, because
Yeah.
they go through lights like they don't exist. They go through stop signs. And then you have this. Let's text while I'm like, well, let me
That's
text.
the
Oh
worst.
my God,
Okay.
that's what they, oh my God, that's horrible.
Okay, so now you have these people they literally are texting, hand on the wheel, and they're texting looking down. It's,
And they go boom.
it's not good. Hold on.
That's my wife. I mean, she yells at that. But they,
Oh, I hate that too. They should get tickets.
It's
and
dangerous.
no,
You're
Well, but they
supposed to
can't
get
get-
tickets.
they
supposed to
can't get to this, but
They don't enforce anything anymore. What do they enforce? That's my question. What do they
But
enforce?
if we
now?
get stopped for something, we'll get a
Well,
ticket.
because they go after women. I don't know what the stats are, but they will go after you or me more than
Yeah.
they'll go after a guy.
well, I'm
Well,
not
Maxine,
sure.
every time I'm talking to you and I'm driving, do I have a potty mouth?
No potty mouth. It's beyond a potty mouth. You're like that. I can't. I wish I should record those calls. It's like
Well, you can.
if you and Abby, on the West Coast, and I compared them, it'd be the same thing. I mean, it's because
You can get a little tape machine that you I
How about
think
on my phone?
you put a separate one. You put a little suction cup on the phone, and you
Mhm.
record all the calls.
right.
I should do that because it's unbelievable, my mouth, because the people up here where I live in BF,
Mhm.
New Jersey, we know what BF stands.
BF nowhere.
Yeah, but my Crystal Springs where I live, Crystal Springs is a wonderful place to live, but
Yeah, but once you go
outside,
out of it, it's like,
well, it's starting to get better. There are more people coming in that are normal. Sorry, guys, sorry.
There's no one normal. So, I mean, normal
But you
doesn't
know what?
exist.
These people, these young kids are driving like they're idiots. They
Mm.
don't understand there are other people on the road.
Right.
And I'm going on the street and I'm going the normal speed limit. And they'll pass me 100 miles an hour and another car's coming and they just miss them by this much. They're idiots. They're gonna end up getting killed.
Right, well,
And-
well, first of all, that's not even a joke anymore. It's not funny.
No,
'cause
it's not.
number
No,
one,
it's not. It's horrible.
Yeah, there's more and more road rage.
Right.
And people
It's-
getting, aside from accidents, they're getting violent. They're coming out of the car, they'll cut you off. They'll,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they'll speed up in front of you and then cut off your car and then come out with a weapon.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
the other
funny.
thing. It's according to National Highway Traffic Safety Association, the number of road rage fatalities, crashes rose 500% over 10 years.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
more in the last 2 years. That
Ever since
people,
COVID,
it says 8 out of 10 drivers admitted to aggressive driving. And 90% said they witnessed someone else doing it.
Yeah, what I
Okay.
hate is you're driving on, let's say you talked about the 101 and the 405, but the 405, you never
Right.
could speed anyway, because it's always bumper to
It's a
bumper.
traffic
bumper to
jam.
bumper,
Right.
believe me, I
But
know.
when you see these guys, when you're traveling like 50, 60 miles an hour, right? And there's
Mhm.
decent space between cars. And all of a sudden on the right lane or the left lane, you see this guy speeding at least, if you're doing 55, he's doing 75. And he'll go up to the next car in front of him, and right on his butt. And then
Yep.
all of a
Till they
sudden
move
comes the other
over.
lane.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, on the Sawmill Parkway, which is not, it's a windy road.
Road, a very
And
windy road.
I've had cars go past us and we're doing the speed limit or a little slightly more. They're going
Mhm.
80, 90 miles an hour. Literally, I am not kidding. And there's no one catching them. Like, who's
Yeah.
catching these people?
Well,
Nothing.
I
happening.
think if they had radar, you're allowed radar in New York, right?
New York you can, and
Yeah.
New Jersey also.
Okay. I think if you had guys on radar, you can almost ticket every second car,
Well,
that's
Yeah.
over the speed limit.
I mean, it's
They
it's
don't need any money.
remarkable.
They don't need really any other taxes. All they have to do is,
A
ticket.
very good friend of Maxine's and mine, his name is Alan. He got 100 tickets. He should get about 1,000 tickets. He used to speed all the, I don't know if he still does it.
He's not as much as he used to. We used to call it Allen speed. There was
Yeah.
ludicrous speed, there was warp speed, and then when
And
there was
then
Allen speed.
Alan speed.
We're talking about
Right.
now I got old man speed.
Yeah. I mean, driving with him on the throughway, you got tire tracks in your underwear, if you know what I mean. I mean,
Now when
that's
I drive, I'm driving on the right-hand lane, even though I'm doing the speed limit.
right.
Or about that, which is about 35 miles an hour. On the left lane, there's people are going, leaving me like I'm standing still.
Right.
Yeah, happens here.
I mean,
I
if you-
drive
Right.
5 miles over the speed limit, maybe 7 to 10. If it's like an empty, no one's around.
You could still get caught with that,
Right.
but
Yeah,
five,
but still,
five, they're not gonna
5 they don't,
necessarily.
no.
But
But sometimes you
one-
go a little
over
fast, but I'm
5, if they
going,
want to be creeps, they'll do it.
Well,
Oh.
I always thought that they have they have to have a certain minimum amount of tickets that they get from the precinct. You have to get,
Well,
Yeah,
look,
but,
after towards the end of the month, you have to have a
Fine.
quota of tickets.
oh my
So-
God, the cops are everywhere. And
There's
like
no
from
cop-
now to the end of the month,
Right,
everywhere you
right.
look.
Usually last 10 days of the month, they're out more.
I have a
So
gold shield.
you do. Wow.
Yes.
That's good. Get me one.
I have, then from Randy, Michael.
What kind of friend are you? Get me the
I,
gold.
I,
shield.
I remember when I was a kid, my father used to have wasn't a gold shield. My father used to have like a card from
Yes.
from the
The
local
police,
precinct.
the PBA
Yeah, from the
card.
Yeah.
from the local precinct.
I had one from.
And we used
my
to
friend
drive,
Brian.
I forgot what it was. It was, I think 7-Eleven or something like that. There was a monthly bulletin that the PBA, Police Benevolent Association, put out that we used to put in the window.
Oh,
Ah,
well,
And now what I have in Los Angeles is, I had a friend that was a sergeant in the LAPD. It's a a license plate frame that you
Mhm.
put your license plate in. And it had, a certain code, a number. And
Oh,
that told the other
Wow.
police that you had a relative or a friend that was a policeman.
oh,
Oh,
man,
that's
Yeah.
cool.
that's the ultimate.
Yes, that is.
Because if they go to run your plate, they go, oh, okay, blah, blah, they go like this, and then they go, okay, you're fine.
I told you, I think that saved me when the cops pulled me over. That was one of the other things that saved me when the cops pulled me over and I was a bit inebriated. I think I told that story
Yeah,
before.
you did.
And I'll tell it again, but not now because our show is ended.
Oh,
No.
But I tell you what, do me a favor,
Sure.
drive safely.
Yes, please,
Yes,
people,
me
drive
too.
safely. Don't text and drive. Don't exceed the limit that,
That's
more
that's
than you
what
should.
as I always say, my boys are 27 and 26, and every
Uh-huh.
time they leave or I speak to
Right.
them, I love you, drive carefully.
Right. Be
Yes.
safe. Just don't be stupid. Right. And
And
no
Don't be
texting, no
stupid.
texting and driving. Stop at lights, stop at stop signs, and be
No
aware.
sex
Be
while you're
aware.
driving.
No
Not
sex.
not while you're driving, but
Well,
if you're making the
That's-
car shake, if you're parked, that's one thing.
I'll tell you, on another show, I can tell you some stories about that when I was in Brooklyn,
Oh, can't
Really?
wait.
when I was 18, 19 years old.
Oh God,
And there's
you
certain things
you
a
were a
driver can
dog.
do while driving
He was
if he has the right woman in the car.
no.
Anyway,
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I'll leave that to your
Oh,
imagination.
Oh no.
Bye.
That's talking about. Are you
Bye.
talking about your stick? Goodbye. Can you? Ciao.
See you next week.
Hey.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.